I am Professor Pawan Kumar Singh from School of Management IMS Ghaziabad University Courses Campus. Today I will discuss the topic of types of decision making, especially in the consumer behavior, because there are a lot of changes happening in the market, not only in the Indian perspective but the global, just because of the pandemic, right? So today we will discuss the topic of types of decision making in a consumer behavior. So what we are going to learn. Yes. So these are the various learning outcomes. Number one is to apply buyer behavior concepts to what customers do in the real world. Actually, we have to see that how the behavior of the consumer are changing rapidly, and what we are going to study, it is definitely change the world, or consumer is what is happening in the real world, right? Second is what identifying and explain factors which influence consumer behavior. There are a lot of factors we have to consider, that it may be a price, it may be a product, it may be a quality, it may be a social factor, it may be a referral factor, it may be I can say various involvement factors. So we have to consider one by one. Next is what to utilize knowledge of buyer behavior to enhance strategic decision making. Yes, we have also to check the buyer behavior, or we can say the purchasing power of the behavior, so we can use this behavior to make a strategic plan, or we can say that the strategic decision making, right? Next is what to develop better marketing programs and strategies to influence those behavior. Right now, every marketer and the market need to design various concepts and the marketing programs on the basis of buyer behavior. So we start our first slide. So there are a lot of, I can say, the types of decision making. There are a lot of decision makings involves in the buying or purchasing behavior. Number one is high involvement decision making. Second is low involvement decision making, rational decision making, cognitive decision making, emotional decision making, bargain decision making. So once we talk about the high involvement decision making, dear students, high involvement decision making typically reflects when a consumer who has a higher degree of interest. Now the question arises that why you people give your interest, or I can say put your decision making or put your involvement especially before buying the product. So the attachment to an item, these items may be relatively expensive, pose a high risk to the consumer, can't be exchanged or refunded easily or at all, and require some degree of research or comparison shopping. So I have put it two example here. One is what the luxury car, second is what the IMS college from where I am, right? So once we talk about the high involvement decision making, there are particular process. One is what, number one is problem recognition. Any solution which we are looking, it generates only with the problem. If we are not having the problem, definitely we are not going to visit the particular store or market to get the solution. So number one is problem recognition. For example, I have taken the two examples. One is what car, luxury car. Second is what IMS Ghaziabad. Any students who wants to buy, who wants to get admission in IMS college, which is a high involvement decision making. So what are the various factors he will see? Number one is the college academic excellence, which we have the 34 years. Second is what the placement. Yeah, we have the highest placement, average placements, and a lot of companies. If I talk about the global companies are in global companies are coming to the campus, and a lot of students are placing, right? And we have this strong alumni coordination also. We have the more than 40,000 alumni. So these types of queries may be asked by the students, those who are coming to the IMS college for getting the admission in BBA, BGMC, BCA, MIB, and different courses, right? So why they are why they are having the various involvement to take a decision before they are getting the admission? Because number one is problem recognition, because it is all about the career, right? So first of all, what is problem recognition? After 12, there are a lot of queries generated by the 12th pass student, that which course we have to opt, which college we have to, I can say, we can join. So these are the various problem generated by the students. Next is what information search. What he or she will do, she or he will search on the Google or different referral group and their society group, their relatives, their parents. They ask that what kind of information they are searching over the internet. As I said earlier, that they will search about the placement, they will search about the faculty member, those who are the PhD or non-PhD. They search about the infrastructure, they search about the academic excellence year, right? Next is what they talk about the fee structure also and what they are getting, right? Next is what purchase decision, right? Next, once if they have the information search, after that they will go to the evaluation of the alternatives. For example, the number one is IMS, second is what college A, college B, college C. Now the all the students will search each and everything and they will compare that what is giving by the IMS college and what is giving by the A, B, C and XYZ college, right? Next is what once they satisfy that in terms of placement, in terms of course curriculum, in terms of specialization, in terms of future opportunities, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of what are the various different activities we are having. So they will take a decision that IMS is the best college, we will get the admission in this college because IMS has a 34 years of academic excellence, right? So they take admission in IMS. Last point is post purchase evaluation. Once they get the admission, after that they will analyze or they will post purchase evaluation as per the satisfaction, as per the time they are getting the admission, what kind of promises we have given and what kind of things they are having. So IMS has a 100% satisfaction rate, right? Next we talk, because I have taken the example of one is goods and second is what services, and in the management field and in the marketing field I can say that we never separate goods and sales, right? Goods and services, right? So now we take the example of luxury car. Yes, if anyone who is looking for the luxury item, if for example if I talk about the Volvo car, which is the safest car in the world, so a consumer who is looking at safety is the prime concern of the customer, definitely he will buy the Volvo. Next is what Mercedes, next is what Bentley, next is what Rolls-Royce. So it is up to the customers that what type of quality, what type of price, what type of decision making he is, I can say, taking, right? So next is what, if I talk about this is the high involvement decision making. Next is what low involvement decision making. Yes, there are a lot of items. If I talk about the decision making, typically reflects when a consumer has a low level of interest. Yes, now you have to think what are the various products and services where we give a low involvement, right? It means we take the product in nanoseconds. So attachment to an item, these items may be relatively inexpensive. Yeah, true. Pose low risk. Yes, be exchanged, returned or replaced easily and not require a search for comparison shopping. For example, if we purchase a bread and milk, we show a low involvement decision making, so it may be comes under the impulse purchase, right? Second is what, if I talk about the impulse purchase, definitely, so impulse purchase, if I talk about the impulse buying, is the sudden and immediate purchase of a product without any pre-shopping, I can say, intention, right? So these are the various products where we can show a low involvement just because of the low risk, just because of the low inexpensive, right? Next is what, if I talk about the low involvement, next slide is what, the importance of convenience. Yes, for example, I have quoted the example of coffee shops. Coffee shops have become more popular as people want access to coffee easily and quickly and with the longer opening hours. And second is what, if I talk about the fast food. Yes, fast food chains are successfully because they offer quick service and are convenient for the consumer. Same is the online shopping reason there. For example, if I talk about the after the pandemic, there are a lot of people, those who avoid to visit a market. And second is what, if I talk about the example of metro cities where husband and wives both are working, they don't have a sufficient time. So they prefer online shopping. This is the convenience, right? Next, we are talking about the rational decision making. Yes, if I talk about the rational decision making, a rational consumer is economic concept that presupposes that when making a choice, consumers will always focus primarily on the maximization of their private benefits. Yes, true. In decision making, rational consumers select the option that will bring the most utility and satisfaction to them. For example, if I talk about the example, imagine that a person has to choose between buying a more expensive car A and a cheaper car B. In this case, the cars are identical. The rational consumer would pick car B since it will give the most value for its price. Nevertheless, if the cars have different energy consumptions level, this will factor into the consumer's decision. In that case, rational consumers will work out which car will be more affordable in the long run. Additionally, if I talk about rational consumers will evaluate all important factors and assesses the other demand factors before making a choice. So in a rational decision making, you will gather information. Second is what the analyze information in terms of price, quality, brand, and it has a sense. Next, we talk about the cognitive decision making. Yes, if I talk about the cognitive decision making, under this view, decision making is a learning process in which decisions are made based on the experience and are feedback dependent. For example, if I love to watch a new movie which is released recently the last Friday, and I just want to take a feedback from the film critics, right? And I can take the review also. So in this decision making, decisions are based on the experience and are a feedback dependent, right? So if I talk about the emotional decision making, a totally emotional decision is very fast in comparison to a rational decision. This is a reactive and largely subconscious and can be useful when faced with immediate danger or in decisions to minimal significance. Some studies suggest emotional insistence to respect the life of another human being, right? So once you talk about the cognitive decision making, we have to research driven. It is a research driven decision making occurs when consumers engage in research to acquire information about a product, right? Next is what if I talk about the comparison. Yes, for example, if I talk about the telecommunication company, there are a lot of mobile phones coming from different companies like Samsung, Apple, and A to Z company, those who are delivering their phones in the market, right? So what we do, a consumer who purchase a new mobile phone, they just want to pay their attention towards the comparison in terms of price, in terms of quality, what will be the screen size, what will be the megapixel of camera, what are the various features I have, what kind of a storage I am getting from this phone. So this is the comparison oriented, right? Or it occurs when consumers compare the features of different products to make a decisions. Next is what if I talk about the evaluation. Yes, evaluation based occurs when consumers make a decision based on the pros and cons of a product. Being a consumer, I have to check that what the amount I am going to pay against the product, and I need to evaluate it. This product is outstanding, excellent, very good, average, or below average, because after all, I have to purchase the product again and again, right? Next, if I talk about the emotional decision making, yes, I have quote a very good example with that there are a lot of consumers, those who are taking the decision on the basis of emotional. A totally emotional decision is very fast in comparison to rational decision. If I talk about the first is what impulse buying, conditioned response, and brand loyalty. So once we talk about the emotional decision making, I have taken one example of Mahabharata that never take a decisions on the basis of your feelings. During the battle of Mahabharata, Arjun refused to fight against his cousins and relatives because it makes him feel sad. But Lord Krishna showed him the right path. In the modern world, we can see that a student feels happy while watching a movie, while on the other hand, studying makes him feel boring and sad. But in a longer studying will be if I talk about the feelings, so what they are doing, yes. So while on the other hand, studying makes him feel boring and sad, but in a long run, studying will be beneficial for the students. So let's come to the slide. It is an emotional based decision because every consumer has a different way to take our decisions, right? It may be anger, happiness, fear. For example, if I talk about the example of LIC policies and the different policy company, those who sell their product just to create a fear in the market. What will happen after your death? who will take care of your family, who will take care of your child education. So these kind of products will create a fear in the market, and after that a consumer take a decision on the basis of emotional, right? So this is all about the types of decision making. I hope and I hope you are getting the benefit. And the last is bargain decision making. Bargain decision making is, it has the two sides, because every coin has the two sides. One is what I can say advantage, second is what disadvantage. Yes, save money. It is a right of consumer that they may bargain, they may bargain against the price of the product, right? And there are a lot of things which are running in the mind of consumer. One is what save money, I have to save money, but it is in my knowledge that quality may be compromised. Second is what satisfaction from scoring a good deal. Yes, it is up to the, for example, if you visit a local market in your city, definitely your first objective to save your money, and you want to satisfy your need, your want, and your requirement. Yes, next is what the allows for more purchases. Yes, it will give you a boost up to allow you for investing a lot of time to buy more money, because you are in the stage of bargaining decision making, right? But there are demerits also. One is what the quality may be compromised, I have already discussed about it. Second is what the may lead to overconsumptions. Yes, overconsumptions means each and everything which is satisfying your need, but on the basis of I can say economical product, on the basis of bargaining decision making, what we do, we purchase lot of more products, right? So this is the end of the topic of types of consumer decision. I hope that this will help you to understand the what kind of decision making a consumer is spent during the purchasing power. Thank you so much.